Hi folks, Will at LR Workshop. Now, over the years with my Defenders, I've done pretty much all of the work on them. I've never really outsourced it apart from a rear cross member. But every now and then you've got to go to a garage, an independent specialist or a chain garage, just to have some work done. And getting new tyres fitted is one of those. My experience with Defenders is that they are relatively different than other vehicles. So I would expect that other garages wouldn't necessarily know the intricacies of Defenders. So I kind of go in mistrusting the garage when they work on my vehicle, and I've been proven right several times. So when I was getting new tyres fitted on my Defender, I kept that healthy skepticism with me. I stayed alert, I watched what they were doing like a hawk, and I became aware of two issues that I knew I would need to rectify. I saw an oil can, and I saw him put oil on the threads of the wheel nuts. And whilst they had used the windy gun to get the nuts off, they were using a torque wrench to put the wheels back on. I asked him what the torque was, and he said it was 105, it said in the book. Now I knew, because these were Wolf wheels, it had to be more than that, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was at the time. There was a technical service bulletin issued in 1997 for Wolf wheels because they weren't being torqued enough, and they changed the torque to quite a high number. And then in later workshop manuals, they gave it 170 newton meters as the figure, which has been retained all the way through, and this is the 2012 workshop manual that also says 170 newton meters. What it also states quite clearly is to not oil the threads, because what you want on wheel nuts is clamping force, and the torque is used as a proxy for clamping force. So if you oil the threads, you will be putting more clamping force in because there's less friction for a given amount of torque. Over-tightened wheel nuts can cause catastrophic problems. So it's important to understand the reality for your vehicle and the manufacturer's specification. So when I got home, I took the wheel nuts off and I degreased them and then put the wheel nuts back on and torqued to the correct 170 newton meter figure. The reason why garages do oil the wheel nut threads is because it makes them easier to get off in future. Here I am 6 months later rotating the tyres, and this is what happened. This wheel nut did this. I had to stamp on it. Oh. So that unfortunately is the downside. You end up with corrosion between the wheel nut and the thread, and it becomes a lot more difficult to get the wheel nut off in future. However, I think I would prefer the wheel nuts to have the correct clamping force and be more difficult to come off than easier to come off. That's just the way I look at it. I'd be interested to know in the comments your thoughts about oiling wheel nuts. I'm not going to tell you whether you should or shouldn't do it. The decision is up to you. However, I'm only following what the manufacturer workshop manual states. Subscribe for more Land Rover content in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.